Hey, welcome back. Today we're taking on this huge rib of beef and I'm going to be doing it Asado style, which is 3 to 4 hours over hot coals. Let's get started and I'll show you how it's done. But before I get started, let's talk about what I'm actually making. Today I'm making a beef paella. And ultimately what makes this different is the ingredients. Paellas are normally fishy, or they use chicken, or sometimes they do pork ribs. But what I'm going for is something completely different. One of my favorite flavors is steak with salsa verde. So to try and bring that into a paella, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and make it with a beef stock. So what I'll be using is 2 parts beef stock, 1 part chicken stock to create a different, richer flavor. So the first thing with any good asado is getting a hot fire going. First you get it hot, then you take control, and then you go low and slow. So first off, I'm making a huge fire with fresh pine wood, and we're gonna get it on and get it going. It's been on for about 20 minutes now, so it's got a solid core, and I'm gonna tip a bag of charcoal over it, which is gonna make a whole smoky mess, but once that's on, we can then get ready to get this started. So asado is really simple, it's just salt. I'm gonna use mold and I'm gonna get it all over and I'm gonna rub it in. We're gonna go fat side down first because with the fat down, you get a little bit of leniency. If you burn the top layer, it's not the end of the world. What you don't wanna do is burn the meat. The fire's obviously always gonna be hotter when you put it on to start with. It's gonna cool down naturally over time. So we're gonna use that fat to protect it. But first I'm just gonna rub in this mold and salt and get it nice and crispy. So as you can see, we've got a really low flame now. Ultimately, the charcoal just makes a thin layer across the bottom of the barbecue, and that gives that incredible asado flavor. The smoke is intentional. We've put the meat fat side down so it's dripping onto the coals, and every time it does, it creates new smoke, and it just creates this beautiful circle of smoke and flavor. So we're just gonna let this continue now. What I'll keep doing is moving coals over the next couple of hours. And that's it really. We've got to be patient with the meat, but it turns out perfect. So the beef's done great. It's spent over an hour and a half, nearly 2 hours on the heat now, and it's time to move it to one side and get my pan on. My pan's gonna start to brown up and I'll be able to see the hot spots and I can use those for cooking. The reason paella pans aren't used very often in cooking is because they're really hard to maintain the heat. They're very thin and they're made of quite a cheap material, so ultimately you get a really uneven cooking surface. Next into the pan, we're going with grated tomato. The idea now is to get like a thick, sticky paste, and we're gonna add some smoked paprika to that before adding the rice. We're gonna mix the rice through and sort of fry it a little bit, right, just to get it started. In with the stock, and I'll show you how it's done. where cooking asado ages, you stand over the smoke in the fire, but next we're going in with some lovely rice. I've got 400 grams of rice here, and I'm So we've got the paella on now, and we're starting to get a really slow bubble, which is exactly what we want. We don't want it overboiling, we don't want it going too hard too fast, but we do want to keep a heat through it so it cooks quite quickly. 25 minutes, 35 minutes max. So we don't want this taking all night. The paella is now reduced and it's simmering perfectly. I put a little metal bar under it just to lift one side so the water sits a little bit more flat, but now we're really cooking well. It's got a really delicious and light bubble all the way across the front. Now it's time to make the last part of this dish, which is a fresh salsa verde. I'm going with capers, some Dijon mustard, I've got some lovely greens from the garden, some herbs, some fresh herbs, and I'm gonna run it through and show you how it's made. The salsa verde is ready, and I'm going to be taking the beef off in just a moment so it can rest for at least 10 minutes before the rice is finished. One of the most amazing things about this dish is the smoky flavour. Obviously you can see it's still coming up the smoke behind, there's still fat dripping off that steak onto the coals, which is producing that incredible flavour. Fire's really low now, which is perfect for where we're at in the cooking. I'm ultimately just trying to slow the meat down so I can take it off. Well, that's me finished there for today, and what an incredible experience that was, cooking over such a long time and making an incredible flavour. For me, it was a great success. If you suggested paella with mustard and capers, people would probably think you're a little bit crazy, but it really worked, especially with that asado flavour coming through. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.